I remember this day. I came in to work and I was sitting at my desk. Like it was early in the morning, and they were putting their backpacks on their little hooks. And one kid came in. I'll never forget him. I love that kid so much. Sebastian. He came in. He had pink hair, like pink hair. So I looked up. I said, Sebastian, I like your hair. Because I try to compliment them all the time.
Hmm.
And he looked at me and he put his backpack up and he said, I did it for you. And I ain't gonna lie like that. That that really, like, I wasn't even gonna cry, but that touched me because he went out of his way, to like to die. He said I could still remember him turning around and just saying like, I did that for you. I did it for you, Miss Smith. That's what he did. So I'm sorry I had to like that brought
It's
back
okay. It's
that brought
okay.
back some. But anyways, from that day they started just surprising me. They started like some of the kids would get the cancer sign design in their head. One girl cut her hair off, and then we started this thing where we would wear pink every Friday. So we call it Pink Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, William Robinson, coming at you today live from the studios of TLC, Talk, Love, and Communication. I believe that all problems, circumstances, situations can be resolved through the proper channels of love and communication. Today we have a special guest, Miss Keisha Smith. She's going to input some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding upon my audience. We're going to talk about the surviving of cancer. We're going to talk about the kids, the students, and the athletic career of Miss Keisha Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, we only got one life to live, and it's a whole lot easier with love and communication. Give my guests a special round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So how you doing today, ma'am? Thank you for joining us. How was your ride over, ma'am?
It's all right.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
right.
Okay. You
I'm
want to tell
right.
my audience a little bit about yourself?
Um, I'm an educator. I'm also a dean of a middle school, and I'm also an athletic director and a basketball coach.
And a basketball coach. And so you know what brought us today? You have a very, very unique story, ma'am. A very unique story that I think is worthy of being told. You know, a lot of people reached out to me concerning you, and they were sharing about how good of a person you are and how you touch their lives. A lot of times, we go through things and you just being Keisha.
Hmm?
We don't understand the impact that we have on others' life, but you are a very, very positive person to this community, whether you know it or not. Not only with the kids, but the adults also. A
Hmm.
lot of people look up to you in this community. What do you have to say about that, ma'am?
Well, that's good to know because that's the type of energy that I put out. Um, that I want to be a positive person, and I want people that are around me to be positive.
Hmm.
Not everybody gonna like you, but it's good that people like you. But I, make myself to be known to be a person that's with a big heart and who's giving and caring. So that's pretty much how I am, and I want to impact lives, adults, kids, anybody's life.
And speaking of the kids, you are an educator, you said, correct?
Hmm.
So that you teach out to Lakewell Middle School.
I used to be a teacher. I'm a dean now of seventh grade dean at the middle school. No,
Okay, okay, that's good to go. So
hmm
here's the difference in the teacher and the dean, huh?
sure is because you have to be. I'm not gonna say the bad guy, but I can't give you as much chance as I would give you in my classroom.
Mhm.
When you come see me, it's a judgment. I kind of see myself sometimes as like Judge Judy. I watch her a lot. It's
Mhm.
either this or it's either that. So when you a dean, you're trying to correct behaviors, and you're also counseling these children because you're telling them like, why did you do that today in the class? Why did you say that? And I'm teaching them a better way to deal with their problems or their issues versus being very aggressive or using profanity or trying to fight. You have to teach children that there's different ways to handle stuff versus the way they want to handle it. So I tend to kind of like to conference with children, like if they're having an issue. I like to conference with them. Hey, like they say, Miss Smith, he want to fight me, So I'm like, okay, well, who is the person, right? Both of y'all come off and let's talk. And I give kids the opportunity to talk it out, and I close my door and I say, hey, we in my office now. What's going on? So we were able to work it out, or I can put you on a contract where you can't talk or anything to that person anymore, and we just gonna leave it like that because everybody not gonna like everybody.
Right.
So either we can work it out and continue to be friends, or we can just stay away from each other and just continue on with our lives. So that's pretty much how I am.
And how many years have you been teaching altogether?
A lot.
And when you think about that, from the time you started to today, do you see a major difference in the kids?
Oh, definitely, because now, like I say, kids are exposed to so much more than what other kids, when I first started teaching or working with kids, they exposed to so much more, and now like kids feel like they have to always give their opinion about stuff, or they always have to answer back.
Yeah.
So versus, I feel like the kids, when I first started teaching or dealing with children, they listen more. Now kids, they talk before they think, So they're a lot different, a lot.
To the kids, you got to think back when we was kids, we'd be like, that old lady don't know. That old man don't know. He don't know. So we have to think, kids are resilient. I'm a firm believer that I don't think that kids change. I think the parents change. Because kids been born for thousands and thousands of years. That kid ain't no different than the kid that was born 100 years ago. It's what we instill in that child and what we allow and permit that child to be. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that, no means no, yes means no. Is everybody has a place. But as parents, sometimes we have a tendency to want our children to have more than what we had. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we fall into that trap of being their friend before the parent. Do you see that often, ma'am?
Yeah, I can see that. I see that parents are more like trying to be their friend versus being the mother. But I also see that some of the parents, they've also went through a lot themselves. So some parents only teach you what they know. If you know to curse somebody out and try to fight them and to go live, that's what you see. That's what you do. And I'm realizing that a lot of kids, that's what they like to do now. Like, instead of just dealing with a situation, they want to go live. I'm a face-to-face person.
Right.
Not a typing,
Right.
I don't, that's not my thing. I like to say it.
Yeah.
A lot of kids they rather go live and get everybody else involved.
Mm-hmm.
This generation, they're taught to put everything on social media versus when I was young or when you were younger, you were taught to keep your business to yourself.
Right.
Now everybody knows what's going on. Everybody getting the video. Everybody getting the screenshot. Stuff like that. So it's like more and more now these days, everybody know this person's business because so many people are talking about it, and the person is also putting it out there for you to know.
Right. Right. And I think as a society, we seem to hold too much weight on what others think of us. Mm-hmm. Just being confident in yourself. Those days are gone. Now you consider arrogant and cocky. But just believe in yourself. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter that you don't like the shirt I got on. I like the shirt I got on. And some people, everyone can't hold up to peer pressure, so to speak. everyone's not built the same. You know, we all have different insecurities and things of that nature. You know, but ma'am, we're gonna change gears here. We're gonna come back to the students.
Yeah.
But we have a pink background today, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
What's the significance in that pink background? And where does that hold in your life, ma'am?
Well, for me, pink, you know, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, you know, and the pink represent me being a cancer survivor. So I'm assuming that's why you chose that background
Mm-hmm.
for that specific reason.
You know, when you first found out, what was your emotional state?
The first time or the second time?
The first time.
The first time, it's crazy because I was it was like during the COVID time, the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a piece. It wasn't a knot or a lump. It was like a piece of mass, like a nice piece of mass that was really hard on my breast, and for some reason I didn't even realize it was there. Like I don't even know how I missed it, but I just didn't realize it was there. And then one day, you know, it was brought to my attention that I have a piece of hard mass there. So it was like, okay, you need to go to the doctor. So I go to the doctor, and you know, you do your mammogram. You do your mammogram. They take these pictures of your chest, and they say, you know, within 48 hours we'll get back to you. But they kind of read a little bit of what it is. That day they talk to you, say, well, it kind of looks like this, but we're not sure. So we're gonna send you off to get a biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm still like, okay, you know, that kind of attitude. And then when I go to get a biopsy, now biopsy, they hurt because they're like, they say they numb you, but you can sometimes still feel that,
You're scraping.
yes, that pulling and that sticking. And then so I get my biopsy, and like I say, it's COVID time, so they're like, you know, we'll call you within 72 hours. And I remember like around this time we wasn't in school, like we was doing everything from Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember Zooming with my students, talking to them, but also in my mind, I'm like, I need to know what's up.
Right.
You know, it's been past
72 hours.
72 hours. Like, what's wrong? They haven't told me yet. So after my Zoom with my students, and I was like 450 something. So I like called back. I called the place and they didn't answer. I called the place that had my results and answered. So then I was like, dang. So then I sat down, and then my phone started to ring. And they're like, Miss Smith, is this Miss Smith? And I'm like, yes, this is Miss Smith. And she was like, you know, I'm sorry to let you know, but you have breast cancer. So I'm like, I was devastated. I'm not gonna lie, because when you think of cancer, you think about dying. You don't think about no cure. You don't think about being. You just think about just automatically you hear cancer. You think about you gonna die. So I kind of like went to my mother, talked with her. You know, she embraced me. My brother was there. He was trying to, you know, give me encouraging words, but I wasn't really hearing what they were saying, because at the end of the day, cancer. It's just like, okay, they told me on the phone,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sorry to tell you, you know, but you have breast cancer. So I'm like, so with all that, you know, after that, you have to go talk to so many doctors now, you know, because they have to create a plan for you.
Right.
You know, so I had to go speak with some doctors about my plan. My initial plan the first time, they were just like, you know, we can just cut it off. So I'm like, dang, you know, cut my breast off. Like, what am I do with one breast? Like, I'm like,
Right.
it started to get serious then,
Right.
you know? And like I say, I kind of like zoned out, because like I say, when you hear cancer, you think of death. So my first time, I was like really, really devastated thinking about it. I feel like the second time, now that was crazy, because the first time I went through the process where they cut my breast off, you know, and they just told me you're gonna do chemo in a pill form. They gave me this pill that's called tamoxifen. So I would have to take that, for like 5 years, cut my breasts off. I went to a few doctor's appointments, and like, are you interested in doing reconstruction? Yeah. Well, they asked me what kind of implant I want. I was down with that. We did reconstruction. I'm back to me.
So the first time you basically just took a pill and went to see a few doctors, and did you ever get cleared from the first time?
Yes, I did, but they doctors, they're not perfect. There's cells in your body that are small that microscopes can't even find.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told that I was fine, that I was clear, but my body still didn't kind of feel right. You know what I mean? Like I used to have like these pains in that same breast, these like sharp pains. And I was like telling my doctor, like, what is that pain? Oh, well, you just got your breast cut, you had your breast cut off. It could be muscles and nerves, you're gonna be okay. That's what I was told.
So the first time that you went through this, you had no pain or nothing. You just noticed, hey, what is that? And just, when you get checked. So do you think that, so afterwards, you start to notice the pain or whatever?
Like 6 months later, I noticed that I felt this pain, and I started to see like some spots on my breast, different types of like dark spots.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed those spots. I'm like telling my doc, like, what's this? I don't even really, I'm gonna be real, I just really don't think he knew at first. Or if he knew, he probably, I don't know. I just don't, I don't want to say nothing negative. I don't really think he knew what it was either,
Mm-hmm.
that doctor, because I was going to the doctors, here, where, in Ocala. So I don't think he really, because it was just like different spots. And I mean, like you say, I just had reconstruction surgery. It could be anything.
From anything. It could be from the reconstructive, even anything but cancer.
Yes. So I just, in my mind, something inside of me kept saying, you need to go see like your primary care doctor. So I ended up going to my primary care doctor, and I'm like, hey man, because I had a really good relationship with my primary care doctor. He was very supportive the first go round.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at I took my shirt off. He looked at it, he would say, oh no, you need another biopsy. So I'm like, huh? He was like, yeah, you need another biopsy. So we set up another biopsy, and I get another biopsy. They tell me again, 72 hours. Now this is 6 months later after being cleared from having cancer.
Mm-hmm.
72 hours, we'll let you know your results. So I remember this day, clear as day. I was at work. That's when I was teaching at Greenway Elementary. I had just put my kids in the car. It was getting ready to be like Thanksgiving break. And I had got on I was doing the car line. That was my duty. And I was getting them in the cars and getting ready to go back to my class.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my doctor. I called that place where they have my results. And I'm like, when are y'all going to tell me my results? It's time now. Oh, we want you to come in and speak to your doctor on Monday. I'm like, no, it's Friday. I'm not going to be thinking about that all weekend. I need you to, I need y'all to let me know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, we're your doctors and surgery. I said, look, I do not care about that. You page him, do whatever y'all got to do. But I need to know today. We're not waiting till Monday.
Right.
So maybe like 2 hours later, I get a phone call. My doctor say, hey, sorry to tell you, but you have breast cancer again. Like, I went back to my classroom in my pod. It's like where you keep all your supplies. Mm-hmm. And I just literally like broke down. I started crying like really, really, really bad. I'm like, oh my God. Like, already the first time was kind of devastating because I had to lose my breast and I had to be without a breast for months, for 6-7 months. And then here it is, and now I have it again. So I remember being inside my pod area where I keep my supplies, and the janitor, he was in the classroom vacuuming my classroom, and he came in there. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I just kind of explained what was going on, So I didn't take the second time too well,
right?
Because it just felt different. People think cancer don't hurt, so I guess sometimes for different people it may not hurt them, but this second go round, I was in pain.
Right.
I was in a lot of pain.
Already. before you heard the news.
Yes, I was my breath. I'm just sitting here talking to you, and I could just feel these sharp pains. I kept feeling these sharp pains
In the same one.
in the same breast that was reconstructed with an implant. Now, mind you, I had an implant in my breast. So why I'm still feeling these pains? So I go back to my cancer doctor, is what I like to call him, which is where it was called the cancer doc. The what was it? It's on 14th Street. All I know is I went to my doctor
Mm-hmm.
and I broke down to him. I'm like, "What's going on?" And he started talking to me, and he was just like, "Look, you've been around this road again before," and he was like, "You right now you're in stage 3." And when I heard that, because the next stage that's it.
Yeah, so that means that the first time
And that's why I say this to say, I was told that I was.
it seems as though, okay, if you do the surgery the first time,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, it seemed like they would do another biopsy afterwards to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that everything is clear. That seemed like that would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean,
I agree. That's why, I started to educate myself more, and that's what we need to do as women or anybody. We need to start to educate ourselves more about our bodies. I started to do a lot of reading, started doing a lot of research, and I told my doctor, I said, "Look, this go around, I need a scan. Anytime I want a scan, I need a scan, and I need to go to the top doctors it is in this world." So he told me, "Look, he said I'm gonna send you to Moffitt. It's in Tampa,
mm-hmm.
and that's got like one of the best doctors and doctors and hospital for cancer patients." So he said, "I'm gonna send you there." Now it's hard to get into that place because there's a list of people that want to see these doctors, but I can compliment my doctor for Dr. Patel. He looked out for me. He made sure I got on that list, to the top of that list, and within the next week, I was down there, and they completely took over the process. I was no longer going to doctors in Ocala.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving to Tampa to my doctors every appointment.
So when you was going to Tampa, did you was a lot of time with those trips? Were you alone, or did you have someone to go with you?
Sometimes I had somebody with me, and sometimes I wanted to be alone because I just felt like I needed to understand who I was, because I was totally different at this point, because I felt like my life was a dream. It felt like I wasn't going, like it was just like I was outside of my body looking at myself go through this process. So there was a time that I had somebody to go with me, and there was time that I really didn't want anybody to go with me either.
Right.
Because I needed to understand myself. And a lot of people can't understand those type of things. Like, they don't understand it until it's them.
Even Jesus, he would go and heal people and be with his disciples, and he would leave his disciples and go off to himself. When you're going through things, he knew his assignment, and he would go off to himself to gather strength. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In the face of adversity. You know what I mean? And I totally understand that, ma'am. So take me back to that first night, the first time you were alone. After the second time, no school, no kids. It's Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
Her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions. Take me back to that first night alone.
I people say you don't question God, and I'm like saying to myself, like, Lord, because I didn't even have a TV on. I kind of was sitting in the dark, and I was like, why? Why do I have to go through this? There's so many children that I need to save. Like, I wrote a poem about it. I got a poem about it that I wrote. I call it Breast Cancer Number 2. And it kind of say, like, what did I do? What did I do to you? I got a poem about that. I mean, it's on my phone. But I just couldn't understand why I had to go through that all over again. I thought I was done.
You want to read your poem?
Oh, yeah, why not? I wrote this because I didn't know any other way to express myself, and I didn't want to be, angry at God. You know, people say that you don't question God, but it was a point in when I was going through this process that I kind of like stopped praying. I'm gonna be real with you. And I was raised in the church and I love the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to the point where I stopped praying.
You know, me going to prison for 18 years is nothing compared to, you know, a cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but and me having surgery to the point to where, you know, I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was pretty much broke down to where I was paralyzed. You know, I'm sitting in a wheelchair watching people run, jump, and play, just imagining just to be able to do the simplest things. You know, and then I come home, I'm broke down. I can't provide. I can't play with my grandson. I can't do things.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it get to the point to where you say, well, Lord, well, I mean, you know, why you dealt me this hand? You know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
bro? You know, you talk to him straight up. I talk to him straight up. You know, bro, I go do 18 years, man. You know, I come home, man. You know, I mean, great day, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I still don't know why. You know what I mean? But I believe that I know for sure my purpose, because he told me podcast.
Yeah.
You know, when I left the streets, there was no such thing as podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard the word in my life. And me sitting to this table with someone like yourself, you know, is my reason, my purpose, my cause. You know, so sometimes we don't know. That's where the trust come in at. That's where the faith come in at. But right now, man, we're going to go ahead and read your poem, though.
Yeah. Because I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So I named the poem Breast Cancer Number 2. Because it was my second time, you know, having it. So it says, so it came back in 4 spots. If the devil thought he was taking me up, he not. You just never imagined your life like this. But there's nothing Jesus cannot fix. My God, hear the prayer of a cancer fighter. You are a healer, protector. You're definitely not a liar. You kept me alive so I can survive. My life is now a brand new journey. You will be by my side. I won't be lonely. Breast cancer number 2, what did I do to you? You were so aggressive, leaving all kinds of messes. You saw me living my life, changing the world, but no, you had to mess with this particular girl. Breast cancer, what did I do to you for you to come back? I need to know now. I want facts. So many questions, too many suggestions. I know I'm going to beat this because Jesus always commits. There are so many children need me, children that I need to teach, high-risk youth I need to reach. Dear Heavenly Father, I am a believer. I prayed about this. You are not a deceiver. This is just a prayer from a cancer fighter. Hold me in your arms, God, just a little tighter. I'm just going to take this day by day, staying positive in each and every way. Dear God, continue to hear my prayer and cry, because I know the Lord sits up high. I should not worry another single day, because all I really need is a little bit of faith. And
amen.
I wrote that because I had so many, questions, because this time, now mind you, I'm in stage 3 now. So that means the cancer's all over here, all under my arm. They had to take out like 17 lymph nodes and 3 of them was cancerous. I had to do about almost a year of chemo. I had to do about 50 rounds of radiation.
What do it feel like when you say it hurts? Like, what do it feel like?
What do you mean? Like
the pain?
The chemo pain or the cancer pain?
The cancer pain.
It was like these sharp pains ongoing. Because see, the thing is, like mind you, I got a implant in, so the cancer is in my muscle. So it had to move into my muscle in my chest. All this right here was just full of cancer. It was all the way up here. So it was like these sharp,
like your nerves.
Yes, it's sharp pains. So you'd be like, ow, like that. But it wasn't worse than the chemo pain.
So would you care to elaborate? The difference?
Okay, so like I say, once you get cancer, you have to speak with these doctors, and they come up with a plan. for you to keep you alive. So right now I was fighting for my life. And I mean, at this day, I'm still fighting for my life. You know, I mean, I'm cancer free, but hey, I I have to fight for my life for the rest of my life. However, the doctor came up with a plan that I needed to do about, like I say, a year. It felt like it was a whole year of chemo. That medicine that they're putting in your body is poison, but it is also killing the cancer. So you laying down for 2 and 3 hours, getting this medicine pumped into your body with a needle, and then like once you get up, you're drained. And the doctor already told me, he was just like, "Nah, I'm gonna tell you, this time is gonna be different. You're gonna lose your hair." So I'm like, hair? Like, yeah, in 2 weeks you're gonna lose your hair.
2 weeks?
He said in 2 weeks I was gonna lose my hair. And I looked at him. He said, "I'm just trying to prepare you. You're gonna lose your hair in 2 weeks." I started to notice it in like the third week, but I probably was losing it in 2 weeks. It just wasn't like I started to see like my hair was shedding on my pillows. You know, I started to see that part, and then eventually, like the third week, my dreads just started like just falling off. Like it felt like, you know, when you burn hair with a lighter and how that feeling is. That's how my hair felt on the top of my head, because it was burnt from the chemo. But the pain from the chemo, I couldn't walk. After the third day of getting chemo, I couldn't even walk. I literally was climbing up and down my stairs. Your bones, for me, it's like I say, it might be different for other people, but my bones was hurting me. I didn't even want to get out of my bed at all. It's the worst feeling. It's the worst pain in the world. It really is.
So is the chemo itself, it's like how do they administer it to you? Like in an IV or?
Yes, like I had to get a port put in. And they connected to the IV to my port. And I had three different kinds of chemo medicines. I took one of the strongest one. They call it the Red Devil. It's red and it's really, really, really strong. And I had to do that. Then I had to do another type of chemo medicine they had, and then I had another one. So that's how they administrated it. They put it through an IV through my port.
So and the port was, if I'm not mistaken, the port is in the area where the cancer is, so it kind of attacks that. How does that work?
I just know it was over here. I don't know if it was. I mean, this was the side that the cancer was on, but I just know that it was over. It was over here.
So while you're actually while the cancer is being administrated, you're in pain. It hurts your body.
No, I would literally go to sleep. Like I had a cover in the pillow, and I would just go. You know, they give you something. They give you Benadryl too. So I would literally like go to sleep the whole time.
So the pain
was after
you. So basically, they wake you up. Your session's over. Okay, Ms. Smith, it's time to go. How soon does the pain kick in? Does it hurt?
I would say like maybe like, because you're still like tired and drained. 2 days after, it's a wrap. You can't go nowhere. You in pain, and no medicine is helping you. I don't care what it is you do, what it is you take. You got to deal with that pain. You have a headache. I had a headache for like days. The headache wouldn't even go away. And then like with chemo, you don't even want to eat. Like everything tastes disgusting. Everything tastes like metal. Water tastes nasty when you take chemo. My fingernails, they were black. My toenails were black. It was just an experience that I wouldn't ever wish on anybody, to go through that, to watch yourself transform like that. And then not only that, I worked through that. It was days I went into my classroom and I'm throwing up in a trash can at my desk, or I'm sitting down. And I'm one of those teachers that don't sit down. So I'm sitting down teaching because I'm in so much pain.
You know, kids are very, very observant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kids see everything. You know, that was there a time where a kid might have came up and Miss Smith, you okay? Or you know, and
Well, when I had to prepare them, because they were used to seeing their teacher so happy, you know, joyful, smiling all the time, playing basketball with them at recess. And I was saying to myself, like, how I'm going to tell these kids that my whole life has changed and that, you know, appearance wise, I'm going to look different. So I made up in my mind, like, okay, today I'm going to tell them. So I decided to have a conversation with them. After recess, we came in and I said, I got to tell you guys something. And I was started to say, I have cancer, and I wanted to document it. So I started like documenting. I had to prepare them, like, and let them know that Miss Smith is going to look different. I'm going to lose my hair, guys. I'm going to be weak. I'm not going to be able to play recess as much. I might miss some days. I don't be absent and I don't miss days, but I'm going to be starting to miss days. And some of them raised their hand. They said, Miss Smith, please don't be absent. We will support you. When they said that, I didn't really know what that looked like. They're kids.
mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what that looked like, but I had to prepare them, and I'm glad I did.
So they basically telling you, we'll make a deal with you. If you come to school every day,
Mm-hmm.
we'll support you through whatever you're going through, even though they are too young to understand,
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is going on. But if you fight, we'll fight with you.
Yes.
And what did that mean to you, ma'am?
Oh, wow. Like, I remember this day I came in to work and I was sitting at my desk. Like, it was early in the morning and they were putting their backpacks on their little hooks. And one kid came in. I'll never forget him. I love that kid so much. Sebastian. He came in and he had pink hair. Like, pink hair. So I looked up. I said, Sebastian, I like your hair. Because I try to compliment them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me and he put his backpack up and he said, I did it for you. And I ain't gonna lie, like that really, like, I wasn't even gonna cry, but that touched me because he went out of his way, to die. He said, I can still remember him turning around and just saying, like, I did that for you. I did it for you, Miss Smith. That's what he did. So I'm sorry I had to, like, that brought back some. But anyways, from that day, they started just surprising me. They started like some of the kids would get the cancer sign design in their head. One girl cut her hair off. And then we started this thing where we would wear pink every Friday. So we'd call it Pink Friday. And if somebody forget, they'll be mad. Oh, you forgot to wear pink. You're supposed to wear pink. So, like, they were going out their way. They were asking their parents to buy them pink stuff to support me. And that is how I made it through. If it was not for those children, I don't know, thank God, but those kids, they motivated me to keep going. And I felt like I was fighting for them because they didn't want me to be absent, for one. But they hate it. Some kids won't even come to school if I'm absent, but it was for them. If it wasn't for them, I just wouldn't. It wouldn't have been the process it was if it wasn't for those children, because they definitely supported me down to graduation. Graduation from 5th grade day, we wore pink at the graduation, literally. Like, it was phenomenal.
Amen.
It was phenomenal. But those children really, really supported me, and it was hard to watch them leave because I was with them for 4th and 5th grade. So they were like my children. They were like my kids, Yeah. They went through my whole journey with me. They was there and they accepted me, and then it would be times that I would feel better and I could play basketball with them because we would play full court basketball games at recess. But like I say, sometimes when I'm in pain, I had to sit down at recess and let them play because my
Right.
bones was hurting so bad. And I didn't want to miss work. I did not want to miss work at all.
Let me ask you a question. I notice you keep using you say my bones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're in a regular state, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't feel a bone. You don't know a bone is there. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? It's just natural. When you say your bone, that has to feel like the essence of you, you know?
It was my bone. I know how I muscle. It was the bones. It was this pain I can't even describe. And it was my bones. My bones was hurting because if you look at the side effects for chemo, um, it's a list of what could happen to you. Everybody's different now,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, that was the pain that kept me down the most. The headaches I could get through those, but it was just that my bones was just hurting all the time. And especially in my legs.
So, you know, relationship wise,
Hmm.
when it comes to, did you have a mate or a significant other during this time at all?
It, I didn't have a girlfriend or a mate or whatever. It was like you talk to somebody, but then they don't understand what you're going through. So there's a disagreement. Like, hey, you got a lot going on. I don't even know how to deal with that. So I decided to be by myself. Like,
And you know, going through that, you know, when you think about the process of dating now and after this situation, now that you come on the other side, do you go into it different? Do you look
mm,
at it different?
oh, definitely. Like, I'm not. Ever since then, I have not even been dating. Because if you can't be there for me at a certain place in my life, then I'm not trying to deal with you. You know, I just feel like now I'm just focusing on me because I just recently had a surgery in December. I had another breast reconstruction. Where they had to take part of my stomach and to create me a breast because I didn't want another implant. I didn't like the way they felt. I didn't like the way those implants felt. So they took they cut like a part of my stomach and like created me a breast. Like they used the skin
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want, because like mine, after chemo, I had to do radiation. Radiation is a whole other level. You lay on this table. This is what happened. So I had to do like maybe like I think 50 rounds of it, if I'm not mistaken. So mind you, I'm still going to work. Now through this whole thing, I'm going to work. I never took off.
Wow.
I had to be to work. I think like what 8 or 7 something. So I scheduled to go take my radiation like 6:55. I was there, lay on a table while this laser just burning your chest, and you just laying there, and this laser thing just burning your chest. When I completed my radiation, my chest was completely burnt up, like burnt up, where I would go to work right after. I would put my clothes on, go to work, ain't like nothing ain't happened, and then my shirt was used to be sticking to me,
Wow.
sticking with me with because the skin where it's so burnt up and stuff. But I just kept working, and here that's when I started to be a dean. So I'm like, I can't take off. I got this new position. I got to keep going. That's the only thing that kept me going was to keep moving, because there was times like when I was doing my chemo, it was a process where I would be in the house sitting in the dark. Like I didn't want to watch TV. I didn't want to listen to music. I didn't want to hear it. It was times people didn't even a lot of people didn't get to see me when I was going through that because I felt like I was angry, not at anybody, but just like my life.
Yeah.
Like what is going on? I
Why
love
me?
children, and God say he love his kids, he show you favor. And like what was going on? But I will say, in my spirit, it could have been God, could have been an angel, but it was said to me that you love my children, I'm gonna show you favor, you're not going to die. I knew that I wasn't going to die, but I ain't gonna say I know. It was times I felt like I was dying.
let me ask you something. When someone going through this, is it important? Do you think you, Keisha Smith, your determination and your willpower to fight, do you think you could have laid down? You think if you would have laid down, you wouldn't be here today?
I think if I laid down, I would not be here today. Remember, I was in stage 3. The next stage is 4. It's already all over my body. Because when I went to those doctors in Tampa, they told me a lot more than what Ocala doctors told me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they specialize in that stuff at Tampa, Moffitt Cancer Hospital. You know, they told me a lot of places where I didn't even know I had cancer at. I knew I had cancer in my breast, but I never knew it was up here. And I did not know that it was under my arm. I did not know that. So like if I would have laid down, I wouldn't have made it. It was like it was do or die. You either do this or you gonna die. And that's how I should think. You either do this or you dying. Like right now you dying. Like I was dying. I was dying. And I had to do what I had to do to get where I'm at right now. Like I said, I did a lot of research. Like, you know, there's a plant called soursop. In different countries, they may call it something else. But like I say, I have Bahamian roots. I'm Bahamian as well. Mm-hmm. They have the soursop that grows on the tree over there. I would go over there and eat it because studies show that it's stronger than chemo and it kills cancer cells. So I went over there a lot to eat the soursop. And a lot of my friends who were there that knew that I had cancer, they would assist me with getting it, finding it for me, you know, finding that plant. I bought me some seeds back, and I have like about maybe 8 soursop plants at my house right now.
Do you, throughout your research that you did, a lot of the medications, medicines that they give us today, you know, the drugs and the medication is the biggest. Mm-hmm. It is, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you, hey, you can go take this, boil this plant down, and you drink this, and you don't have to take this medicine here. You know what I mean? Because that stops the money flow, the cash flow.
That's true.
You know, how strong in your belief that helped you?
I believe that what cured me was, cutting the cancer out. The medicine, I'm not a pain type taking. I don't take Percocets. I don't take. I'm not in no type. I would deal with the pain. When I got my port put in, I didn't take no painkillers. Nothing. I was in pain, so I didn't care. So I feel like me cutting the cancer out, which means cutting my breast off, going to eat the plant, changing the way I eat, started juicing plants and veggies and vegetables and stuff like that. I think that is what helped me get through the process also as far as the medical part. Mm-hmm. Because those medicine, like you say, that's what people say. They don't medicines ain't what.
You mentioned what you eat. And before this interview, I done a little research, and I was kind of shocked, being obese.
Yeah.
A lot of inflammation.
Yes.
A lot of these things trigger cancerous cells and can enhance.
They do.
The foods that we eat and a lot of the chemicals that they put in the plants to supply, to keep up with the demand.
Exactly.
So it's very important to diet correctly.
That's right. Now? Yes. I've never been a bad eater, but I feel like since cancer, I've cleaned it up a lot. Because you don't know what it could be. It could be environmental. Cancer could have been environmental. Just where you live at, and the air, whatever's out there can cause you to get cancer. Cancer is a cell. You can get it from a person. You don't know that.
Can you get it from a person?
If you have cells in your body, and a lot of the cells
through bodily fluids. That's
exactly. See what I'm saying? So it's like they don't really know how you getting it. Because if they really knew, it would be a cure. Right. So we as humans, we have to cure ourselves. And like I said, I did a lot of research, and I try to eat the fruits and veggies that help kill cancer cells. I've never been like a junk food type eating person. That's never been my thing.
Right.
Like I don't have no snacks in my house. but I don't eat red meat. Here and there I be craving steak, but I don't eat pork. Um, I'm not a big cake eating type person. You know what I mean? I don't like icing, but I do love eating vegetables and fruits. So now I eat mostly fish, which I ate fish all the time, but from being from the islands.
Mhm.
But I'm more of a fish. Like I might have fish every night, 2 weeks straight, a month. Here and there, I'll put some chicken in there here and there. But I mostly eat fish. You're gonna find fish in my refrigerator.
Right. You know, what is it that you wish? What is it that you know now that you wish you knew before you started chemo?
Um, I know that you need a strong support system. You know, I know that. I know that you need to be in an environment that is positive because a lot of people who get cancer sometimes they die so fast because they're in a negative type situation or they're looking at it negatively. I believe me being surrounded by love and support that helped me get through it as well. So, like, it's people that came back from stage 4 cancer. It's all about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about, how far you are. Like I say, stage 4 is, they say it's the last stage,
Right.
but sometimes people do come back from that. And like I'm gonna tell you, like now, anytime that I hear that someone passed away from cancer, I don't care if I don't know who they are. If I just see it on the internet or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, I cry because I know that could have been me.
Yep.
Like I say, because some days I thought I was going to die. No matter what the Lord said or put him, like remind, like I told you, sometimes I wouldn't even pray. It was a while that it's not that I didn't believe in God. I just was like, I ain't feel like talking to him.
Was it a point that you got discouraged to the point where you was angry at it?
Yeah. Like I said, I stopped praying one time. Like I wouldn't even pray. And I wouldn't even talk to God. And it was something that I had to deal with inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the reason that I got cancer. I'm not going to say all that. I feel like he put us in position so we can help and, educate other people about different journeys in life. Like your journey could be something like you said. You went to prison, you can help other kids or people that went to prison and get through that experience. So God put different journeys on us.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like it was times I gave up too. Because it changes you.
Yeah.
Because you like, when you get cancer, it's like every hour, every minute, every second counts for you. And that's how I live my life right now. I try not to waste my time. Because that's all we have is time. And you never know when it's your time, too.
Sitting across from you, a lot of things that you're describing to me. My grandmother just passed away a few months ago from breast cancer. And the same thing, the chest area, the breast area, up under the arm used to hurt, the knots under there, you could feel it. And, and the pain, and I used to rub her, and, it's kind of like, and it's a lot of things, even myself, I don't really deal with it.
Yeah. Trust me, that's a hard thing. It's tough.
And she was so strong, I'm asking you these questions because I want to know what, what I'm saying, her fight, and she was 91 years old.
Oh wow. She lived a good life.
And 2 days, but you say every moment, every second, and it make me think because sometimes I see pictures of her and I'm like, this was her best day. We had so much fun, and it was 4 days before she passed, or 5 days. Who would know next week
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't be here anymore? And it's like, she was herself until 2 days before she passed. She was laughing, everything is regular. 2 days before she passed, she only kind of, like she just went to sleep. and then in that little stage thing, you know what I'm saying? But I just smile every time because it's only good memories. You know what I'm saying? Her mind was still there. There was never no, don't remember nothing, and she was so sharp, and I just haven't found no one as witty as her. You can't have that kind of conversation with nobody else.
No.
And I commend you for your fight because her fight was so extraordinary. You know what I mean? And she used to feel like if I could just make it till in the morning.
I used to be scared to go to sleep.
Yes.
I used to be scared to go to sleep because, mind you, think about this. This is my second time having cancer. So at this point, I've lost a lot of faith in doctors too. I used to be rude and mean in my appointments. I'm not going to lie. If they say something that's not accurate, I'm like, no, it was this day. No, I don't want to do that. I'm doing this. Because at this time, I was like, I'm taking control of my life. You don't know who I am inside and out. I've been studying this stuff for a while because I went through this cancer process for 2 years. Just imagine having cancer for 2 years. 2 years. I was be scared to go to sleep because I have lost a lot of faith in doctors. As humans, we need to know what we put in our body. We need to know what we're doing to our body as well. And we need to be going to the doctor. I don't know why people do not like to go to the doctor.
Right.
It's better to know than not to know.
Especially our people.
I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to say it. Yes.
Especially the men.
Exactly.
A lot of black men do not go to the doctor.
They do not go. You know why? You know why I think they don't? Because not every man. A lot of men are promiscuous. And they scared to find out what's what. You know what I mean? So
they rather walk around not knowing than to know.
Than to know. And I'm not speaking for every man because I don't want nobody upset.
Right.
If they do get upset, well. But they rather not know than to know. Right. And like you said, people as us, we need to go to the doctor.
That's right.
I have a dentist. I have a primary care. I have a head doctor. I have a heart. I have every doctor you could possibly need. So.
That's right. Cancer, both of my grandparents, it's a very ugly thing. Mm-hmm. And I remember I talked to a loved one and he mentioned to me, he says, someone mentioned to him about, hey, your dad died of cancer, you don't support, da-da-da. And he was, it's like sometimes you don't know these emotions is in there. He was like, no one was there when my dad died. You know what I mean? He's angry. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's like, these are things that he wouldn't say out loud. These thoughts that you have that you don't say out loud, but they're inside and you act as though they don't exist. And he was saying like, wasn't nobody there to help me, my dad, my granddad, what I'm saying, or whatever the situation. I know a person, his wife is gone. And, he spoke, sometimes he have to push back when he see kids with their mothers, he have to push back the thought of like, like you questioning God, like, Lord, why, why my kids can't have their mom? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have to, these things come and you have to push them aside. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Every sin, every crime that exists, it lies within each and every one of us. It's just our ability to be able to block one from the other. You understand what I'm saying? There's a killer, there's a murderer, there's a rapist, there's a drug dealer, there's all these things in all of us because there's things that you went through that you didn't think that you were able to bear.
Yes, because I never thought that I never thought in a million years that I would get cancer 2 times. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I be checking myself now. I had to take this pill for the rest of my life. You just never know. Mm-hmm. But I never imagined having cancer. That's why I got these tattoos. Like, this first tattoo I got was like, breast cancer picked the fight with the wrong girl. This was the first one, and then when I won, I got that on me. Like I won. So
how many years has it been since you've been cancer free the second time?
It's been a year.
A year.
It's been a year.
And I noticed that you said that every hour, every second. You know what I mean? And we talked before about forgiveness and unforgiveness and bitterness and hatred. What's your outlook on those things now?
Since cancer, because that's one of the worst things that I've ever been through in my whole entire life. And that was very dramatic for me. So like when somebody do something to me now, I kind of can look over it faster now than I was before. Before I was like, man, what's up? What you want to do?
Yeah.
But now that I've had to fight for my life, I'm not finna fight with nobody.
And also, early in the conversation, we talked about people are so concerned what others think, what they feel, how they view you, their perception. And you weigh it up to against the battles you've already fought. So it's kind of like, she don't like me anymore. I beat cancer. Who is her?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And and being in prison, a lot of my mentality was, I'm the type of person where it's like, I want us to be straight, but I only can control me.
That's right.
So if you have envy or bitterness or strife or whatever in your heart, or jealousy or whatever it may be, and I'm asking you, what's this, you not man enough to openly say whatever you feel because you at fault. It's like, it matters, but it don't matter. It's kind of like, who are you? When I think about everybody that means something to me and the people I love in my life, man, your name's so far on the list, man.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this. like I say, I'm a positive person. I'm in the community. I love kids. The only thing I care if someone don't like me is the children. I care about what the kids think about me. I don't care about what they say about me in the streets. Because if you ain't on my level, and don't even try to critique me. There's people that don't like me. They ain't gonna tell me. They gonna talk about it with somebody else because they know how I'm rocking. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted now. I'm an educator. Sometimes I gotta put that to the side and deal with you. But I care about what kids think about me. I don't care about what these people that want to be like me, because it's the people that want to be like you that don't like you. They don't want to say it, but they really top fans.
Yeah, straight up.
They top fans. They want to be like you. They looking at how you dress. They looking at what you wear. They trying to imitate it, trying to put their own little sweetness to it, a little sweet to it. But they really top fans. I don't care about them kind of people because I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody ain't got the balls to tell me in my face that they don't like me. I ain't never met that person before. It's always gonna be on the phone, on three-way, in a chat group. It'll never be in my face.
Consequences and repercussions. but I'm gonna tell you, man. We talked about me doing 18 years of prison. Before we went on air, you say, "Wow, man, anger." You know what I'm saying, and seeing what you've been through, and just like the fight that you've been through, and the kids. Those same kids they're grown, they're bigger now, and they still see Miss Smith.
Yeah.
Miss Smith, hey, Miss Smith, the teacher. You know what I'm saying? They're going to always view you in that way. So you have to constantly, because when you, believe it or not, when you're a teacher, you're a public figure.
Exactly.
Whether you believe it or not. You don't know who see you when you walking out of Walmart. You don't teach. You don't taught and coach so many kids. You don't know who see you. Not only the kids, the parents, the grandparents, the sisters of the kid, the brothers of the kid.
Yeah.
So it's so many people know you that you don't know.
That's true.
So never let those people get the best of you because that anger sometimes will come back and it can deflect everything you work for.
And see,
one moment.
And see, that's the thing, my job, my career, and these students, I really saved a lot of people from getting beat up. I'm just gonna be 100% with you right now. They didn't save these people. They really have. However, that's why I say I only care about what they think. If I gotta be um handle a situation a certain way because of a child there, I'm gonna do that.
You
I
know,
can back down because of a child there.
in my days, like let's say you got a parent that out of line because they figure like, you can't. It's your job. You're a dean. You can't. Whatever. Sometimes that whisper, that one-on-one whisper, where don't nobody hear it but you and them.
Yeah.
That's more dangerous than all that cussing and fussing because you know that I know. All right now.
All right.
Well,
which side?
You know I got
right.
I got your file in there with that info. Don't help me to come see you. But but love. Okay, so support got you through this. The kids.
Mm-hmm.
Family.
Family.
When you think about family, what comes to mind, ma'am?
Both sides of my family, like I tell you, I'm half Bahamian, I'm half American. My father's from the Bahamas, my mother's from, around here. And them. I love each and every last one of them. My nieces and my nephews, they are my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like them are my pride and joy. I absolutely love my siblings. I love my mother and I love my father. Like when you think of family, I just think of my mother and my father and my brothers and sisters. My cousins, because I have a lot of them. But I love both sides of my family.
When you say love, what is love?
It's a verb. It shows action,
You know what's actually in the dictionary?
Mm-hmm.
It's a noun. It's crazy. Person, place, or thing.
Yep.
But what is Keisha Smith's definition of love?
Like I just said, for me, like I say, been going through what I went through. Love is an action. I need you to show me. I don't need you to tell me. You got to show me you love me. So it may be a noun in the dictionary, but in my dictionary and in my glossary, it's a verb. And I need you to show me that you love me. I don't want you to tell me.
And that's so important. I think that being told that with action, faith without works is dead. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You love me, you tell me, you show me. I have, in the older generations, I got some very stubborn men in my family. And it's like one of us in each generation. And my former life, I was the one in my generation. But I always told my kids, my wife, and so forth, I love them. I was never afraid to say I love you to the ones I love. Now, a lot of times, relationship-wise, I wouldn't tell the person I love them.
Why?
Outside of my wives,
okay,
just girlfriend, and you with her for a few years or whatever. I wouldn't say I love you if I didn't love you. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you may assume you the first string quarterback, but you only playing in the game because two people hurt right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't love you. You're in the game because they're hurt, but I don't love you to be the starter.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm not going to tell you I love you. Because love hurts. When someone hurts you, and I was always considerate of, you don't do that to people.
Yeah, that's why I say love is a verb.
Love is a verb.
Because you can't tell me you love me and you doing this over here. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry. And a lot of people like to say they love you, but they don't even know what love is. Because if you loving me, why are you hurting me?
I got a partner say, I asked him what is love. He say, love ain't, what is love? He say, Joker say they love their grandma, but they ain't been around there to see them in 6 months. But you love her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's why it's a verb.
I got you got your nieces and nephews around here. You ain't been around here to see them in 2 months, but you love them.
Yeah.
So love is an action. I agree with that, ma'am. To me, if I had to sum it up in one word, I would say sacrifice. Because if you're not willing to put someone else's best interest before yours, you don't love them.
Yeah.
Look,
for me, like, you asked me what love is. And like I told you, like I love my brothers and I love my sisters. I have this different kind of love for my siblings. It's almost like they're my children,
Yeah.
But I love my family, like I say, both sides. Mother's side and my father's side. Because I'm from two different worlds. My dad is from the Bahamas, my mother is from the United States.
And growing up as a little girl, you always had that love and that support of your family, correct? Because if I remember, throughout my research, you was quite the athlete in this area. You was pretty good.
The best.
The best?
Everybody consider themselves the best, right?
That's right.
We got some good athletes in North Carolina. We do. We got our town is full of athletes. But everybody say they the best, right?
That's right.
Everybody. Every team I played on was amazing. And I felt like all of them was the best, too. Now, I'm not just saying I'm the best. Every player, everybody that was on the team that I played on, I feel like they was the best, too.
So you had a couple one-on-ones?
With my teammates? I wouldn't say I played my team. I don't remember playing any of my teammates one-on-one. I know we were dogging other people up.
I have a family member that you played basketball with, and she also died of cancer.
Yeah.
And when I came home, as soon as I came home, I'm like, I'm going to see the family and everybody, and they're like, she's going through. I'm like, well, and I had to, go to New Jersey, and it's like, well, she's at this. I'm like, well, who? What's, and and I think about that all the time because I didn't get to see her alive.
That was, is that who I think it is?
That's Ranji.
I love Ranji. Like, her death really like did something to me. You know what I mean? We shared the same doctor. We had the same doctor, and me and Ranji got really close over the years. She was excellent, best basketball player you could ever meet. That's why I say everybody I played with was the best.
Yeah, because I used to.
She could do everything. She could shoot. She could dribble. She could pass. She could do it all. She could bring that ball down the court. She could post you up. Like, she was epic. That's why I said the best. Everybody I played with was the best.
And if you don't like that foul, she'll handle it off the court too.
And she'll talk that mess.
Yeah.
Her death really, like, it took a piece of me. When she passed, I felt like a piece of me got taken away because I didn't want my friend to go through that. I already knew what it felt like, but somebody that I cared about to go through that really touched me. And I took her funeral very, very hard. I really, really, really did. I ended up retiring her jersey. She was number 55. I found her, this is when I was coaching at Forest. Mm-hmm. So I retired her jersey, put it in a frame, gave it to her mother. Her mother's also been very supportive of me too, her mother and her father.
Yes.
But her passing really, really, really touched me. That's why I was grateful and excited to speak at her funeral. I was able, her family allowed me to just say a few words about her, because that's my dog. Yeah. I love Ranji. Like, oh gosh, she could do anything. She could dance, she could sing. Like, she was just so talented.
Full of
very
energy, man.
athletic.
Always smiling.
And it's just like, I was so glad that I was able to see her before she passed because, like I tell you, when you're going through something like that, you don't want many people to see you.
Right.
Ranji was really close to her family, so, she spent a lot of time with her father and her mother, and her siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people, saw Ranji. You know what I'm saying? But she allowed me to see her, and we talked like it was like, talked about sports and everything. You know what I mean? I was so glad that I was able to, see her and talk to her. I didn't know that was your cousin.
Yeah. Yes. Her mom and my mom is first cousins.
Oh, wow.
Her grandmother and my grandmother are sisters.
Oh, you close cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ranji. Ranji was an amazing person. She had a big heart. She spoke her mind. She know how to have fun.
Yeah. You got two more than Matthew. Matthew's athletes.
Yeah, I know now. And let me tell you, Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh man, you had to see her play. Jazz was good too.
Yes.
But I think like my favorite birthday, Destiny.
Destiny?
Destiny had the best. I love
Yeah.
Destiny. But Ronji was that. Now Ronji could do everything.
Even for you to even consider it, because I didn't see Destiny play.
I did. Destiny was that.
Now you know, Destiny got a daughter right now playing.
Yeah, that they little generation right now. They nephews, they nieces, they doing their thing, and I'm proud of them. And I know like a lot of it have to do with Ranji. And if Ranji was here, man, oh my God, I'm sure she'll have a little AAU team. But they AAU team.
You know, Jazz played too now.
Jazz do a thing.
Jazz the coach right now.
Destiny, that's my.
Okay.
You had to see it. I want to see Destiny and Jazz play 1-on-1. That's what I want to see.
Jazz gonna
See, you ain't never seen Destiny.
I ain't never seen it, but I know one thing. She better body up fooling with Jazz. Jazz gonna back down game now.
Destiny was kind of like Ranji.
Yeah.
She could
do a little bit everything. Up. Do everything.
She can shoot. She can dribble. She can bring that ball down. Jazz got a height. Jazz got a height on him. But I'm just saying, like, Destiny, I always tell Ranji, man.
Oh,
man,
and I'm thinking Jazz the baby, too.
Yeah, Jazz the baby.
I'm thinking the Jazz gonna most of that. Okay, now the big sister, little sister.
I'm gonna have to call Destiny and be like, hey, man, I want you to play Jazz.
You know, I even hear that you was pretty good at baseball.
Somebody told you that?
You know, I do my research. You know, I hear that you was pretty good pitcher, and you know, you had them kids crying out there.
Oh yeah, I was knocking it out, cracking them out. Dang, who told you all that?
You got the kids. So who was the worst crier?
Man, I don't want to do my dog like that, man. I love his name Bubba. I love Bubba. You know, that's my dog. But yeah, he used to cry a lot. I just crack him out. That's my buddy though.
Do we call him Bubba now, or do we have another name?
We call him Bubba.
Well, I know another one that you used to crack out. You know, pretty close friend of mine.
Ooh.
And he said you had him crying a few times.
I didn't know who that is.
Aaron Phillips.
Oh, oh, bow-legged Aaron. Oh yeah. Just crack his bow-legged behind. Oh yeah. I was really good in baseball and softball too. So I'm really good at softball as well.
So you know, so you basically was an all-around athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So you did go to college for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell us about your college career, man?
I don't really want to get all in that.
So you was her?
Yeah. You know, they know who I am.
You think you still got a little something now?
Yeah, I'll play anybody right now. Right now.
I tell you what, I might make a phone. I think I might be able to get Check Up Williams to handle that.
Check Up Williams?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Rod.
Man, Rod need to sit down, man.
We're going to see if we're going to set that up.
I'll play him one-on-one.
We're going to see if we're going to try to set that up right
man.
now.
That little weak little jump shot he used to have when he used to play midnight at the alt.
Yeah.
Tell him I said that, too.
Okay. I'm going to let him know that. But let me ask you something, ma'am. How would you like to be remembered?
Just the way I am. What they see is what they get. Just remember what I bring to the community, to children's lives, to this world, to friends. Because I'm also a good friend as well, too. Now, people can tell you, like, I'm a good friend. You can talk to me. You can lean on me. You can depend on me. You can have a conversation with me. You know it's not going to go anywhere. Just remember me just the way I am. The person that not for what nobody else say. Not for what nobody else experienced. Remember me for the person you met in front of you. Not what somebody's telling you.
That's right. Judge me according to who I am, not what you heard.
That's right.
That's very profound, ma'am. So, you know, what is your greatest accomplishment?
Everything that I've done, because I'm still accomplishing. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish that I'm still trying to reach. So I'm not going to just give it one thing. I'm just not going to say one thing is my greatest accomplishment. Everything that I've done has been a great accomplishment. I mean, you know, I'm from the west side of Ocala, you know, grew up over there. I grew up in the Bahamas. So I'm not just going to say that there's one thing that's my greatest accomplishment. Everything that I have done who've made me who I am even going through all the trials and tribulations, even going through cancer 2 times, that has been my greatest accomplishment is the things that I've been through. And I'm still growing as a person.
Where do you see Keisha Smith in 5 years from now?
Definitely not working for nobody. That's number one. Being my own boss, running different types of organizations. I want my own school for kids with different types of behavior issues. So I see myself being a real boss. Like everybody call themselves a boss and don't even know what that means. I'm just gonna, say that like that. But I see myself running a lot of different businesses that is giving other people's jobs, helping kids, mentoring. I just see myself being a real boss, running different types of businesses.
Do you have any regrets?
I regret not having a child. I mean, I had a hysterectomy. I can't have kids due to a medical issue. But the only thing I regret is not being able to have my own child because I want my own child. I've always wanted my own child. That's the only thing that I regret, not having my own child. That's literally it.
And you such a person that love kids. You know, you think that plays a part in your love for and desire for the kids?
I agree because I feel like because I'm not able to have a kid that I have to love everybody like they're my kid.
Right.
And I feel like if I had a child, who knows like where I'm gonna be at right now. You know what I mean? Or would I be so strong in the education or would I be doing something else? Because my first major was animal medicine. I didn't go to college wanting to be a teacher. That wasn't the thing. I wanted to be an animal doctor.
So you always had a caring heart. You just wanted to nurture, to take care, to nurture. When you look back and you see yourself today, when you was a little girl, what did you envision yourself doing and being and becoming?
It was crazy because when I was a little girl, I wanted to be in the NBA. I wanted to be like the first girl in the NBA. Like I used to love Allen Iverson and he underrated. I loved him playing like him. So I always wanted to be in the NBA, not in the WNBA, the NBA. I never really wanted to play with. It was just fun playing with boys. It was more challenging.
Speaking of basketball, who is the greatest basketball player you seen play?
In Ocala?
No, in the NBA, and the greatest player you ever seen with your eyes.
Michael Jordan and AI.
No Kobe?
Kobe, he want to be Jordan. He played like Jordan. Where everything he got, everything he do is like Michael Jordan. When you see Kobe play, you see all Michael Jordan characteristics. The way he shoot, the way he dribble, the way he do his fadeaway. I have no problem with Kobe. Kobe all right. God bless him. He's great. But Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. Oh, I must say, Jason Williams.
Yeah, he passed that rock.
Jason Williams.
Passed that rock.
Those three are my top players.
Out of the players right now today in the NBA, pick your starting five.
Man, they don't play the same no more. I like LeBron, but he don't really impress me like that. Ja Morant, I like him. I like Curry. Like I say, they don't play like how basketball used to be played. So it's just all a bunch of shooting threes way from half court. And I like to see move. I want you to cross them up, break their ankles.
What about Kyrie then?
Kyrie, like I say,
Kyrie the cross up king, man.
Man, like I say, I ain't.
It's hard to stand in front of Kyrie.
They ain't doing no Allen Iverson moves. No Tim Hardaway moves. You know what I mean? They not doing them type of stuff.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. This the part of the show we're gonna have an episode called Fill in the Blank. I'm gonna ask you some questions, ma'am. You just answer them precisely. First thing come to mind. You ready?
Oh God.
I've always wanted to
be a millionaire.
I love when someone,
encourage me.
if I had to do it all over again, I would.
Be an educator.
My favorite holiday is,
Spring break.
it aggravates me when people,
Run their mouth and don't do nothing about it.
the best quality someone could have is,
Loyalty.
if I was God, the first thing I would do is,
Man, I don't know if I can answer that one because I can't put my position. I can't put myself in God's shoes. I can't even answer. You gotta go to the next question. I can't even answer that one.
okay. My childhood crush was,
Nah, you might go to the next question.
it might be a movie star or something.
Oh nah, they ain't no movie star.
Go ahead on now. Come on. My childhood crush.
I don't know. I can't remember that far.
Okay, we gonna go with that one.
Yeah,
If I could travel anywhere in the world, it would be,
I want to go to Africa.
my favorite movie is,
I don't really have favorites. So I don't like. I either like it or I don't. It's not like something I can watch over and over and over and over again. So I don't have favorites. I don't even have a favorite color.
if I could go back to any age, it would be,
I don't want to go back to no ages.
Jesus is,
My life.
when I first meet someone, the first thing I notice is,
They T.
my greatest strength is,
My ambition.
my greatest weakness is,
My temper.
the biggest misunderstanding about me is,
My personality.
I love hard, but I draw the line at,
When you keep trying me.
I love children because
They are our future.
if I had to star in a movie, it would be beside,
Man, all them crazy in the movies. I can't answer that one. I don't want to. I got to know them. I mean, I can't put myself in that position. I'm sorry. I can't.
if I could have dinner with anyone in the world, it would be,
You know who I want to sit down and eat with? I want to sit down with Donald Trump. I want to ask him some questions.
what would be your first question you ask Donald Trump?
Why you don't like people but your own? I just want to know. And why he want to be the president again. Like, that's what I want to know. Why you want to be it again?
If you were the president, what the first thing you would do?
I would pay educators more. I would pay them more than teachers. Pay them more than doctors. Because you got to go through a classroom, a teacher, to become whatever you want to be. The first person face you look into is a teacher. So why they not making more than everybody else? So if I became the president, I would raise teacher and educators' pay.
Okay, this is the last episode, and this is called AMA, where you, Keisha Smith, get to ask me, William Robinson, anything.
What made you want to interview me?
Actually, my wife, I think I inboxed you by accident,
Yeah.
and once we talked, and you was like, oh, I thought you wanted to interview me.
Yeah, because I'm like, why is this man inboxing me?
You know, I accidentally sent you I shared a reel with you,
Mhm.
and you say, well, you know, I thought you wanted to interview me.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I will. Are you interested in being interviewed? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then when I asked my wife, do you know Keisha Smith? And she been following you for a while.
Yeah.
My wife been following you, and she said, oh, she'll be excellent. You know, this, that, and another.
Mhm.
You ask me whatever you want, however many times, whatever.
Would you let me interview you?
Yes, I would let you interview me. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll do this again, and
Yeah.
you'll sit in my chair, and I'll sit in your
That's
chair.
right. That's
And
right.
let you get this a little small interview here. It's your turn to ask me anything you want.
Nah, I'd rather do it the other way. You know, it's
Okay.
set it up.
You want to mash the button?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
mash the buttons.
Okay, we can do that. Any more questions, Mel?
That's about it. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed talking about, my journey, because I feel like a lot of, like, as people like us, we need to get in tune with our bodies. We need to stop ignoring the signs, the pains, because your body will talk to you. There's different things about your body. When something's wrong, it'll send a signal. And I feel like as people, we need to stop ignoring all those warning signs and stop going to the doctor when it's a little bit too late,
Right.
And we need to be more cautious of what our body is telling us.
Right. Ma'am, what's your can you recall the first time you met me?
Like, when I did an interview with you, but I also saw you interview a lot of kids and stuff.
And what's your perception when you saw my reels or the videos? What was your perception?
I feel like you're giving people in this town a voice, and a different aspect, and you helping them learn how to express themselves in a positive manner, because our little town, a lot of little crime going on here and there, and this is good for our city. I feel like you're giving our athletes a voice and preparing them for the next level, because there are going to be many more interviews, and as people, we need to know how to speak. We need to know how to conduct ourselves in a respectful manner. So I feel like what you're doing is great. You giving the kids exposure. You're getting them ready for the real world, ESPN type stuff.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I actually like what you're doing with the children and adults, and people, and you're opening up doors for people. I feel like you are opening up people's eyes, because somebody may see me one way, but then if I'm sitting down talking to you at a table about some serious things, they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't know." So you're opening up people's eyes about different types of people in our community. So like what you're doing is like really, really, really good, and it have people in the back of their mind thinking like, somebody's watching me, so let me make sure I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So I need you to come out to middle school is now starting flag football. So all the games are gonna be played at MC. What is it called?
YFL.
Yeah. So on Wednesdays, first games will start February 28th. Come out there, get a kid some exposure, interview some kids. I'm the athletic director, so is there a kid that really shined that night? You let me know, and I can arrange for you to interview them. Because a lot of times kids don't, like, I was one of those kids that like, I just get mad, get tick. When I was playing at the Alt,
Yeah.
I had to learn how to. I did, and then at the Alt, hey, go home. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
At the where?
At the Alt.
You know about the Alt?
Man, I'm from the West Side. I ain't hiding that now.
Okay.
Educated or not, I ain't hiding. 3 degrees or not, I ain't hiding that I'm from the West.
And shout out to the ones that grow up on the West Side and the rough
Yeah,
areas.
West
You can
Side.
become and make it and be anything you choose to be
That's right.
through hard work and determination. Correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So, ma'am, have your perception changed? What did you learn from sitting across from this table that you didn't know before you arrived?
I learned that, I could open up about something so sentimental to me. I'm not gonna call you no stranger because I know you now, but to you, and allow you to share my story and my journey with people who may be dealing with something or dealing with cancer or don't know who need to go to the doctor and get checked. And I hope I inspire people to go get their mammograms or to go get their body checked out. So you got me in a spot where I can give myself a voice.
So what would be your advice to someone who just found out yesterday that they have cancer?
My advice would be to stay positive, don't give up on God, Keep praying and listen to that voice inside your head. Surround yourself with positive people, positive environment. No matter what the doctors say, God has the last say. Do your own research on the things that you are not sure about, because you gotta understand, doctors are just human beings like me and you. They don't know everything, and they're not always right. They make mistakes. They're practicing on us. They're not making us perfect. They're practicing. So surround yourself with positive people. Educate yourself more about your sickness and your illness, and you can come through. You can get through that. No matter what, God has always the last say.
Amen. Okay, ma'am, this is called Final Thoughts, where you, Keisha Smith, will look into this camera over my shoulder here, and you will give my audience your final thoughts and the last words you want to get out to the world, ma'am.
Just know that you can do all things through Christ. Never stop believing in yourself. No matter your life, no matter your situation, no matter how you grew up, you can always be whoever you want to be, no matter what anybody says. Don't worry about other people's opinion about you. What matters is what God thinks, and, conduct and govern yourself accordingly when you're out. Don't just show people who you really, really are, not what they say.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, William Robinson, coming at you live today from the studios of TLC, Talk, Love, and Communication. We want to thank our special guest, Miss Keisha Smith. She can put some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding upon us. I hope she encouraged you and enlighten you for those who are going through cancer, breast cancer, any type of cancer. Strength comes from within. Believe in God and trust. And remember, if no one told you they love you today, William Robinson loves you.